Thank you, Joe. Relative to Danny and Rio's presentation, mine will be a little less exciting in some ways, but very exciting in other ways. But I'll be going through a recap of the last year of the AllSeen Alliance, what we've achieved so far, and where we hope the Alliance will go. So as Joe mentioned, I'm Eugene Yoo. I'm with LG Electronics. I'm in what's called the Smart Business Center. It's a corporate entity that LG set up a few years ago to namely help solve this problem of devices speaking to each other, but even within our own company. So obviously we still have a ways to go for IoT and many different devices working together, but LG is very well positioned in some ways. We're top 5 in many different categories of devices, and we've built this corporate entity just to address this opportunity. Sorry, let's see here. Okay. So we were one of the founding members of the AllSeen Alliance, but that was about a year ago. Since that time, the Alliance has seen the membership base more than triple. We continue to add premier community and sponsor members. The latest premier members, which you probably have heard of, Microsoft, Electrolux, and Sony around the IFA time period. The community member base also is growing very rapidly as well. One thing to note is that the membership base is very diverse. If you take a look at these logos, it's a bit of an eye chart, I apologize, but it's rapidly changing every day. In fact, this is probably out of date as of yesterday's board meeting. There are probably more members and logos that should be up here. But if you take a look, it spreads the gamut. You know, we have device manufacturers, we have software providers, solution providers. We have a very diverse base of global companies from Europe, the Americas, Asia as well. And so as we move forward, we continue to embrace this very open ecosystem, and we want to see more and more different types of companies come into the Alliance to achieve our shared vision here going forward. So again, not as exciting as the first 2 presentations, but we'll recap some of our KPIs that we set out early this year. The first and the primary goal of the Alliance is to get commercial product out the door that is consumer facing and that bears the AllSeen Alliance mark. So to date, as Joe mentioned, there are a number of devices already in the market that have AllJoyn, for example, embedded in the devices. We recently established a certification and compliance program that will allow devices to be certified and then to bear the mark facing the consumers. That certification program was recently set up. To date, we have 2 devices that have been formally certified, but a number of devices that have already AllJoyn embedded, which I'll show a little more detail about here in the future. The second is around code contributions. So obviously this is an open source project. We want all of our member companies to be very actively committed to and actively involved with this project. So we had a goal of 5 companies contributing code actively to the Alliance. We had a goal of 5 to 10 new services being created, and generally speaking, trying to foster an active developer community. We've had 9 code contributions thus far to date, exceeding our goal of code contributions. 6 new services created, and active new proposals coming in all the time. And we've already hosted 3 successful Hackfests and continue to do much more on this side as well. And lastly, membership, which I touched on already. We wanted to double the community membership base and also bring in 4 premier members. We've achieved that. I would say, personally speaking, out of the 3 KPIs, membership has been the least challenging in many ways. But as we shift from a setup phase this year to a more operational phase going forward, what we want to do is harness the membership more actively, more productively, to achieve the goal of getting more commercial product out the door. So there are many sessions today and tomorrow focused on specific working groups and committees, so I will not go into detail on all of these. But from a marketing perspective, our marketing committee has been doing yeoman's work, just doing a great job of getting the name out of the AllSeen Alliance and trying to productively gain mind share in the marketplace. You'll see a number of resources today that are already available on our website. We encourage all of our member companies to actively use the website, as there are a lot of resources there available today. We have a blog, we have monthly newsletters. We actively try to engage with communication with all our member companies and prospective companies as well. We've built some mind share in the industry by actively participating in speakerships and PR and so forth. I'll get into more detail on that later on here as well. And of course, we're embracing social media to get the word out about the Alliance as well. As we turn to next year, we believe marketing and messaging will become a more critical aspect of the Alliance, certainly around themes such as security, which is top of mind for players in the IoT space. I briefly mentioned about the certification and compliance program, which we've set up already here for phase 1. Self-certification is free, and there's no need to be a member to certify devices. The goal is to make using the software and certifying devices as open as possible. And we'll continue to develop the CNC program to meet market needs as we go forward. Details can be found on the website here. And just want to stress that this is a very important function for the Alliance, because this is what really allows us to bring the AllJoyn and AllSeen consumer mindshare to the front of the market. Without this program, we cannot certify devices and we cannot get devices with the mark facing consumers. So obviously very important. You can see here there's a logo here designed for AllSeen, which is already part of the phase 1 CNC program here. Secondly, outside of devices that have been certified already, there are a number of devices in the marketplace today that already have AllJoyn. You can see here they spread the gamut from consumer, home, car, different use cases, different types of companies. As Joe mentioned, LG was one of the first manufacturers to embed AllJoyn in our TVs. Our 2012, 13, and 14 smart TVs, most of them are embedded with AllJoyn today. So what we need to do is take these devices that are here and in the pipeline, and we need to really get them certified. We need them to bear the mark, the AllSeen mark. Once we do that, we can build the base out with the consumers and try to really build a strong mind share with them going forward. Around thought leadership, so I think we're all sick of hearing the words IoT and smart home at this point, but I think AllSeen has done a great job of carving out its mind share in the industry so far. There's a lot of noise here, obviously, but I think the key principles for AllSeen is that we're an open source software project, not necessarily a standards body, and our goal is to bring real solutions and real products to the marketplace. With the help of the Linux Foundation and all of our member companies, I think we've done a great job of achieving this mind share to date, but we really need to take the next step in conjunction with all the member companies that sit in the audience here today to really elevate the exposure of the Alliance. And lastly, again, we have a lot of resources here, and you can go on our websites, you can take a look, but what I really want to stress here today is this is our first all members summit meeting. It's been a year since we founded the Alliance. First time we're convening together with the entire membership base. So would really ask all of the members and prospective members here to reach out to folks here. The Linux Foundation, to Premier members, to community members, members who are actively involved here. This is the first time we have everyone face to face, first of many times going forward as well. So let's make the most of it, let's make it count, and let's use this time as productively as possible. Thank you very much.